Deep inside a pagan temple, a blinded, scarred prisoner rests his hands against two massive stone support pillars. He pushes outward with all his remaining might. Deep fissures fracture the solid stone, and the entire roof collapses inward upon them. 3,000 Philistine elites die in the rubble. The prisoner deliberately brought the structure down on himself, knowing he would not survive. This violent structural collapse happened thousands of years ago, yet we are still arguing about what it actually meant. Looking at the destruction, we are forced to question the fragile boundary between heroic martyrdom and catastrophic terrorism. Arabic media frequently cites this exact event as the first recorded suicide attack in history. Early Christian theologians like Caesarius of Arles read the same text and saw something holy, arguing that the prisoner's outstretched arms between the pillars prefigured Christ on the cross. Today, the event gives its name to the Samson option, an unofficial Israeli military doctrine, threatening mutually assured nuclear destruction if the state is overrun. When one ancient figure spawns such contradictory ideologies, we must look closely at his origins and figure out how his power actually worked. According to the Book of Judges, Samson was born to a barren woman through divine intervention to serve as the final judge of ancient Israel. His life was governed by the Nazirite vow. This required strict spiritual consecration, symbolized by leaving his hair uncut. His physical biology was completely ordinary. His strength came entirely from obedience. Early on, he deployed that strength with hyper-violent success. He slaughtered 1,000 men with the jawbone of a donkey and tore a lion apart with his bare hands. This data chart lists Samson's first 5 chronological feats of strength. Look at the text for each one. The mechanism of his power is explicitly defined by a repetitive phrase: "The Spirit of the Lord rushed upon him." The text refuses to give Samson personal credit. The physical supremacy belongs exclusively to an external divine force channeling through him. In these early years, his dominance was completely dependent on strict spiritual obedience. Over time, that discipline erodes. Samson gives in to complacency, vengeance, and lust, eventually falling for a Philistine woman named Delilah. This second chart looks at feats 6 through 10. Notice what is missing. As Samson escapes fresh bowstrings and breaks new ropes, the phrase, "the Spirit of the Lord," completely vanishes from the biblical record. His spiritual discipline is crashing. He has begun to dangerously mistake God's lent power for his own innate ability. He breaks the core of his Nazirite vow by letting Delilah cut his hair. His strength evaporates instantly. The Philistines capture him, gouge out his eyes, and chain him to a massive millstone to grind grain in the city of Gaza. The blinding is a poetic punishment. The physical loss of his eyes mirrors the severe hubris that had already blinded his spiritual judgment. We are back in the temple of Dagon. The Philistines have brought him out to mock him, but in the darkness of his prison cell, his hair had silently begun to grow back. He prays one last time. He doesn't ask for the deliverance of his people. He specifically asks for strength to enact personal revenge for his 2 gouged-out eyes. Modern scholars note that this narrative shares an architectural blueprint with the mythologies of neighboring ancient cultures, functioning much like a localized solar deity. Slaying a lion barehanded and being betrayed by a woman to his doom is the exact tragic arc of the Greek demigod Heracles. Samson resonates across cultures because he operates as a universal human archetype, the doomed demigod who cannot control the power he wields. We look again at the collapsed temple rubble, now understanding the full cycle of his devotion, arrogance, and revenge. He leaves behind 2 conflicting identities. We see a flawed, self-sacrificing savior attempting to free his people, and a desperate man weaponizing sheer terror in his final breath. We have to decide if his legacy provides the blueprint for defeating our enemies, or a brutal warning about the suicidal cost of mutually assured destruction.